I honestly think that independents have such an advantage over the big names because they have so much more freedom.
Welcome to the Modern Hotelier, hospitality's most engaged podcast. Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow us, and leave a comment about how you like this episode. Steve, who do we got today?
David, today, in the flesh, our good friend Scott Eddy. Scott, how are we doing today?
Doing good. I mean, our first podcast was over the computer, so, it's nice to be in person.
Absolutely. So, since we last talked, what have you been up to?
Oh my God. I don't even know. I mean, got to be 10 countries and, just a lot of moving around. And today we're at the conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're here at IHS Miami, second year for me. Yesterday, day one, you had a couple panels. How did that go?
Yeah.
What was the vibe?
It was great. This is my first time here. I always like the independent shows versus the bigger shows because independents have a little bit more flexibility with what they can do and what they can't do. And, when you're under the big umbrellas, you're so restricted. So the panels went well. They were well received, I think. We had a lot of quick Q&A after, which I love. I think it was great.
That's awesome. And what were your panels on? You did two of them back to back, right?
So the first one I was moderating a F&B panel, and the second one was on quiet luxury and wellness. I was just on the panel.
Very nice. And any trends or any cool things that came out of that panel that you were excited to give to the independent hotel space?
Yeah, with me, I lived in Southeast Asia for 13 years. Over there, wellness and quiet luxury and these things, they're built into the DNA of humans over there. So over here, it's like an added revenue stream. Go get a massage. Okay, it costs this much. Over there, it's such a normal daily occurrence that it just happens to happen. It's all about healing and nurturing and this and that. So wellness is, it's getting massive over here, but it's always been massive over there.
All right. So I have a left field question from our dinner last night. We're not going to throw anyone under the bus, but big thing in hospitality is loyalty. So I'll ask you, is it possible to root for 3 different baseball teams?
As I told Todd last night, absolutely not. Listen, I've liked the Braves since I could reach the TV, and I will die a Braves fan. And I hate your team more than anything.
Yeah, last night we were talking about how you can't really have a couple favorite teams, and he hates Philadelphia. So that's what I love about sports because he hates it and I love it. So that's what makes it the yin and yang.
100%.
So you travel, you travel full time, correct?
Yes.
So you don't really have a home base. You just are on the road. What really sticks out as far as memorable experiences, whether you go on cruises, you stay in a lot of different hotels, what really makes a memorable stay?
It's never the place. It's always the people that I meet while I'm there. I could stay in a hostel, but if I become friends with the guy at the front desk, it's a memorable experience versus you could stay at a 6-star resort and if everybody's just hollow on the inside, I'll forget about it in 5 minutes. So it's always about the people that you meet while you're there. Always.
Yeah, so circling back to last night, I want to kind of hear it again. You grew up in South Florida, spent a lot of time.
I did.
So maybe for me, it's interesting. I went to school in South Florida. What things have changed that you like and what things have changed that you don't like? What's different?
So there was just an enormous amount there's always been wealth here.
Right.
But during the pandemic and since the pandemic, there's just been so much wealth that has moved down here. It's driven the prices for everything up. Prices are sky high. They're higher than they've ever been. Rents are ridiculous. What you're paying for nothing is insane. Restaurants, just everything. They're going to have a big problem with condos very, very soon just because I think that they're putting up too many.
Right.
The higher end ones are easy to sell, but I think they're going to have a problem with the mid-range ones. But I love the place. I love the location. When you get so many different people from different places in one place, it's hard to get that genuine kindness and warmth and just niceness that I grew up with here in Fort Lauderdale. The people just aren't kind anymore, you know? It's becoming a very big city. Now, having said that, I love being based here. It's super easy. I can go to the Caribbean, Mexico, Europe. It's all like the flights are super easy. It's just great. In between trips, we have one of the best beaches in the world here. There's pluses and minuses. It's not all bad and it's not all good, like everywhere else.
I feel like there is an energy in Miami, though. John and I, we're staying, on Ocean Drive, and waking up this morning, people are rollerblading, playing volleyball, going for a run, or coming back from the club. So, would you agree with that? Like, there is an energy in Miami that is almost different from other places?
So, me growing up here since I was 3 years old, I lived in the same house in Fort Lauderdale from age 3 to 29, and I love the culture here.
Yeah.
I love that Latin vibe, the Caribbean vibe, the European vibe, all meshed together. I think it's fantastic. My mother was born in Jamaica, so like I have that Caribbean culture within me as well. I think it's great. I can't imagine living even though I was born in Michigan, I can't imagine living in the Midwest where you're just surrounded by one culture.
Right.
And you're not exposed to this on a daily basis. I just can't imagine it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine living in Saginaw, Michigan.
Well, I can.
John. We all just looked at John. So I got a question for you.
I was born there too,
I know.
Yeah. That's why it's funny. That's why it's funny.
But we follow you. We see you on Instagram. Like Steve said, you're everywhere, all over the world. And this is maybe for me personally, because a lot of things bother me. What's one thing that bothers you about traveling today? The biggest thing, maybe.
You know what really bothers me is I know how people are when they're home and I know how people are when they travel. And sometimes people let their inhibitions go wild a little bit more than they should when they travel.
Right.
And, you think in the back of your head and you're like, you would never do that back home. Why would you do it here?
Yeah.
Why are you like acting buck wild? Like it never resonated with me. I just don't understand that.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, you did a LinkedIn post a week or two ago.
Okay.
And it was about the top travel tips because you travel so often. And I think it was specifically for airplanes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about maybe one of those tips or two of those tips that kind of stood out to you?
Well, let me tell you something that I've always done. And this wasn't just because of the pandemic, even though a lot of people picked up the habit during the pandemic. When I first get on a flight, I take one of those wet wipes. I wipe down everything. The trays are like the dirtiest thing on the plane because they don't get cleaned. Yeah. The cleaning crew goes in there, they get, they do nothing.
Yeah.
Like the belt buckle underneath, like, I don't understand. Like, why would you're touching that? Like the person before you might have had a cold and.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't know. That is my number one. And I also, so most people in the travel industry, they pack as light as they can. They carry on everything. I pack heavy. Like I pack like a girl. I have 2 big suitcases everywhere I go, but it's also equipment and stuff like that. But so I check in bags all the time. My whole goal is to be hands-free at the airport.
Oh, wow.
I have a backpack. That's it.
That's great.
And I see people shuffling around the airport. I'm like, oh, no.
Since you do travel so much, and not only in the U.S., but internationally, aside from wellness, right? You mentioned that, but are there any trends that you're seeing that are kind of surprising and delighting you at the same time that you think might catch on a little bit more in 2026?
I think places they're going even deeper with the whole F&B thing.
Yeah.
I think that hotels are taking control of their outlet space a lot more, and they operate the restaurant, even though a lot of times it's not really feasible financially. And they're really going deep with storytelling and farm to table, and they have their own beehive, and they grow their own vegetables and this and that. And I really like that trend. I think it's fantastic. I think the sustainability part of that is wonderful.
So I think one of the great things, our panel yesterday, I asked everybody to raise their hand if they're a hotelier. We talked about leveraging video and how hotels can actually, especially independent hotels, need as much help as they can competing against the brands. So kind of what are you seeing at this show? What are you seeing with the independent market, how they should be marketing better and actually really standing out like they do?
I honestly think that independents have such an advantage over the big names because they have so much more freedom.
Right.
You know, they just need to get, and this is always the hardest part, they need to get the ownership and leadership on board. But once they get that buy-in, and you could really go deep into marketing and really storytell and really ingrain yourself in the community. Like I think I said it on my panel yesterday, most hotels are scared to death to show anything but their hotel in their marketing.
Yeah.
They're scared to death. And I never understood that. You should show your hotel like 20% and the destination like 80%.
Yeah.
You should ingrain yourself like you're part of the community. What happens when it's not high season and you don't get all the tourism? You need the local buy-in much more than you need those 3 months of high season.
Yeah. And I think showcasing the people that work there as well,
100%.
because they're the ones, we all agree, people make the stay, like you said earlier. So showcasing the bartender, the mixologist, the chef.
Oh.
Like, let's do some behind the scenes stuff with the chef, that video content that everybody's, taking in on a daily basis, Instagram, TikTok, just do those short videos as well.
So when I work in the Caribbean, a big thing for me is I always want to do long form video of the chef picking up the local seafood at the market and just going to pick up those fish. And, it's fantastic. And that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see how fresh it is. I want to know when it gets on my table cooked, what time did you go pick that up? 3 a.m. Like, it's just awesome. I did a very cool thing with Ritz-Carlton in Osaka one time. And my good friend was the executive chef there, Dutch guy, great guy. And he said, hey, we're going to go to the market tomorrow morning, be in the lobby ready at 2:30. So it's like, a.m.? Like, I wake up early, but like 2:30 is like ridiculous. So I get up and I'm waiting there and we go to this market. And this market is only used by hotel owners, executive chefs, and restaurant owners. And if you don't speak Japanese, you have to have a translator walk with you because nobody inside speaks English. So we walked in and he had a group of Japanese CEOs, like local big company, was having a company meeting there. And what they do is they order a certain grade level of tuna. So we're going around and he's like poking the different tunas to test the fat levels. He ended up buying like this thing, it was like 39 kilos. And there's no checks, everything's cash. He paid like $40,000. Like, it was so absurd, but it was like the cool experience ever.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Well, that does it for another episode of The Modern Hotelier. We're here at the Independent Hotel Show in Miami with our good friend Scott Eddy. Let people know how they can get in touch with you, where they can follow you. Plug away, my friend.
I am on everything at Mr. Scott Eddy. Like, it doesn't change anywhere. That's also my website. I mean, it's just easy.
Yeah.
And
You're
not only
everywhere.
that, I reply to every DM and I reply to every comment.
You're everywhere all the time.
Everywhere all the time, baby.
That's you.
All right. Well, we look forward to working with you in the future and some future collaborations.
Yeah.
That does it for another episode of The Modern Hotelier, hospitality's most engaged podcast. Whether you're watching or listening, we appreciate you. And
our next episode is going to be next baseball season.
yes. Or we might go to the Eagles-Cowboys game.
Not in Philly.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. All right.
You made it to the end of The Modern Hotelier. Thanks for watching or listening. The Modern Hotelier is produced by Modern Hotelier Media. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube, or subscribe wherever you get your podcast. If you know a good guest, sponsor, or have media needs, feel free to reach out to us at hello@themodernhotelier.com. Thanks and have a great day.